Welcome everyone to part 2 of the 2018 RealmX bow review by Outdoor Analytics. Last bow review, the first part of this bow review, we covered kind of the general basics of the bow. So if that's something you're interested, please go back and look at that one. If not, we'll start in on some more specifics to this bow. So last bow review, I ended it with the speed of this bow, and that's where I'll pick up. So 345 IBO on these bows on the performance setting. And from what I've found from the last 3 years at least from Bowtech is that they do hit their ratings. So I think you can get all of 345 out of this bow properly tuned in the performance. Again, I like it in comfort, so that was how I was interested in seeing what it performed with at the comfort side of the setting. Now this bow is 71 to 71.5 pounds. It is 29-inch draw, and it was shooting a 457 grain arrow at right at 286 to 288 feet per second through the chronograph. As a comparison, that is right with what my Hoyt Hyperforce shot, almost identical to what the Hoyt Hyperforce shot, and it is about 5 or 6 feet per second slower than the Matthews Triax, which was rated at 343 feet per second. So that 335 IBO I think is a bit conservative. I think you'll get a little more than that, but of course that'll vary from bow to bow. But you're right in there. Very, very good speeds for a very smooth draw and for a 335 rating IBO. So after seeing that, it erased any doubt of a perceived lack of speed, although 335 is by no means slow. This bow gets all of that, and shooting it at 70 pounds or 65 pounds, you will have no problem getting the kinetic energy and momentum needed for any hunting here in North America. So the bow tuned very well, getting the speeds I wanted. As I said in the last bow review, there is some vibration at the shot, post-shot, but that doesn't seem to translate into noise. It is a very quiet bow, especially with a heavier hunting weight arrow. The grip on the bow, and I guess this is one thing I didn't cover on the overall. Bowtech changed the grip quite a bit this year from previous grips, and this grip is called the clutch grip. As you can see, they wrote it down right there so you won't forget it. It's the clutch grip, and it is a flat plastic backed grip. Gone are the side plates and the roundness. At first I didn't think I would like that because I really liked the Bowtech grip. It was one of my favorite grips, the way it kind of narrow and round in the back, and I didn't think I would like this flat plastic grip. Turns out I was wrong. I really do enjoy it. I think it settles the hand. It lets your palm sit flat in the bow, gives it a good repeatable accuracy. And from what everybody's been saying is Bowtech's looking into making different grip options, so this pops off, and that it may be some with more of a palm swell or maybe a fatter grip. I'm not sure what those options are going to be, but it looks like that Bowtech's exploring different options for this grip. As it sits right now, it's a very repeatable, very user-friendly grip. If not quite as comfortable as the previous rain grip, it's at least, I'd say, more repeatable and will help with any torque issues. The riser on these bows, same material, a 6000 series as last year's material, but like I talked about, it's bridged here now. There's more bridging. It's a beefier riser, and I think that kind of aids in accuracy as well. The dampening systems. So Bowtech has this little rubber dampener down here. You've probably seen it in the releases and other reviews. It's very lightweight, and it's supposed to be able to stackable and put the weight where you want. To me, it's almost an afterthought. It just doesn't seem as polished as the rest of the bow. I suppose it takes out some vibration a little bit, and you can buy more, but it doesn't seem to be. I've shot with and without it, and it just doesn't seem to add much. Almost a bit gimmicky, but maybe if you add 3 or 4, it'll start to notice the difference. But that is the dampener that comes this year with it, instead of the revolver style that they had the last couple years. You will note, and a lot of people have talked about this, that there are several mounting holes in the risers. So I don't know if you can see that there, but several points to mount weight. So, or an offset bar, a V-bar. So there's several different mounting points. You can customize this as you want if that is your thing, to get weights where you want it to be. Not a big deal for me personally, because that's not what I like to do with my hunting bows. I don't like to stick a bunch of extra weight on there. But if you do, note those options are there, and you can experiment with weight up top, weight up bottom, to the sides. It is kind of a neat feature if that's what you're into, is to, you know, trying to balance this bow out perfectly for you. You can absolutely do that. Although, like I said, I just don't, I'm not real sure about this rubber disc. I don't know what it really adds that the Revolver series didn't. Strings, the strings on a Bowtech, I firmly believe that the Bowtech factory strings are the best strings in the business from a factory. They just seem to, be very stable. They seem to, you know, you don't get a lot of peep rotation, and they don't fuzz up very easily. They just seem like very well built strings. They don't advertise. They don't brag them up like Hoyt does, or like PSC does with the live wire. But these just seem a very stable string, just like they were last year. I'm very impressed with the string quality. Fit and finish on the bow. Now, the overall look of the bow, I really like the Rain look. I like that swept back reptilian style riser. This doesn't have that, so overall I won't say I like the look of the bow itself as much, but the finish on the Bowtechs, it gets better and better each year. Now there's several finishes offered, from the classic mossy oak type camo, to Sika, to subalpine, to a flat dark earth this year, which is very attractive, to black, to the cryptic altitude. And this cryptic altitude, it wraps around really well. It's inside all these little cutouts. They've done a very, very good job on the limbs and risers with this color fusion. And it's something I just can't believe all bow companies don't go to it, because it looks so attractive. It is such a better way to finish a bow than traditional dipping. It just seems very, it's a very easy way to look at a bow on the shelf and pick the differences. No matter how they shoot, you know, it's just kind of, if you want to attract a customer, make it pop, make it look good like that, and color fusion is a way to do it. So I'm really impressed with the application of the finish on this bow. It looks really sharp. Limb graphics are sharp. They do a good job there, and overall just a very good bow. It just seems like this bow, although there's a little more vibration than there was on last year's bow, I'd say it is a very worthy successor to it. It draws very similar. It does seem to point a little bit better, a little quicker. Maybe that's because of the more vertical riser and the flatter grip, but it shoots well. So it's a good bow. You know, it makes those speeds you think it's going to make. It is quiet bow, not quite to the Tri-X level of silence, more so than the Hyperforce, and I'd say noticeably more so than the PSEs as well. It is a solid bow. And like I said, everything that can be described about this bow can also be described on the regular Rain, everything except the string angle. The string angle on this obviously is going to be a greater angle, or less of an angle than the 31-inch, whereas that coming off that string, it'll be noticeably more acute. Whether or not that'll affect your accuracy, I don't know. You know, at first I thought, when I shot and reviewed the Tri-X, that it would, but it isn't. But this bow is easier for me to transition to from most other bows because of the little additional length. So I'll wrap it up there. Please leave your comments below, any questions you have about this bow, and I'll try to answer. I'll try to follow this up with me shooting the bow, drawing and shooting. You can kind of see that. I've gotten a lot of feedback from other reviews saying they want to see shots fired from the bow, and so I'll try to get that done. A video of me drawing and releasing the bow, so you can see the draw and hear it. But there you go. If there's any questions, again, like I said, please post down below. If you are interested in following me on YouTube, please do so. So thank you, and have a good hunt.